Hello everyone, this is part 15 of What If Naruto Failed and Chose a Different Path, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. To say Sasuke and Hinata were in trouble was an understatement, as the many walls of ice mirrors that Haku created through her bloodline limit surrounded them. What is this? Said Sasuke as he looked around, as did Hinata, to see multiple figures of Haku in each of the ice mirrors. This is my ultimate technique, using my bloodline limit to manipulate the water around me to create this jutsu that will be your prison till I kill you, said Haku behind her mask, as each of the images that were her threw wave after wave of senbon needles at both of the genin, hitting key pressure points on their body. Both Sasuke and Hinata screamed in pain as they were hit, as all the needles LD their F to hit their pressure points hard. Each point that was hit slowly took away nearly all the movement from their arms and legs from where they were hit. I can't S here. I have to survive to K him. I must. Live, thought Sasuke, as the sudden rage in his eyes had now ignited his own bloodline that was his Sharingan eyes. Just as he did, Haku threw another wave of senbon needles at Sasuke, who took his kunai and knocked all but two away from him. What? How did he do that? There is no way he could move that fast to block my movements like that, thought Haku as she looked from Sasuke to the Hyuga girl, who now had her bloodline limit activated, looking at all angles to see where the needles would come from next. Instantly Haku moved as Hinata saw the true form of Haku among the mirror images of the ninja, trying to engage her with the gentle fist taijutsu style to impede all movement. If I can stall her long enough, then maybe Sasuke-san can wound her before she can get to another ice mirror, thought Hinata as she saw with her bloodline that Haku was in fact a girl. As she did, Sasuke went through hand signs, seeing his opportunity to strike occur thanks to the Hyuga girl. However, from what he had heard, she was still weak in comparison to him, so there was no point in saying such things to her, as the weak did not deserve such things in his mind. Fire style, fireball jutsu, said Sasuke as he performed the seals before he took in a deep breath before releasing the blast of fire from his mouth towards Haku, who barely dodged it as she was surprised at his recent attack at her. Again he follows me where I go, with his eyes almost as if he had a bloodline limit of his own, but that is not. Wait. His eyes are now red with a coma on each of them, making them different from before. Did he awaken a bloodline limit of his own? Thought Haku as she had escaped to the sanctuary of another ice mirror. You seemed surprised. I guess you never went up against an Uchiha before, said a now smirking Sasuke, looking at Haku with his eyes, though he knew he should not become too overconfident of his eyes' abilities, as the Sharingan eyes were by far from complete. An Uchiha. Zabuza warned me about them and their eyes. I thought they were all wiped out with the exception of two. This one must be the survivor of the M, since he is still so young, thought Haku as she realized this was going to be complicated, as facing these two genin with bloodline limits of their own may overpower hers. It makes no difference to me if you're an Uchiha or not, I will defeat both of you, and in doing so I will attain my right to being a true shinobi. And I'll start by killing her, said Haku as he sent senbon needles at Hinata, saw where they were going with her own bloodline limit, and knocked them away or dodged them with what maneuverability she had. I won't fail. Naruto is counting on me, and if I lose to you I will never show him just how strong I am, said Hinata as the needles already in her starting to take their toll, as she was breathing heavily from the pressure points being attacked. So you care for him as I thought you did, young Hyuga. It will sadden me to see him hurt so deeply when I bring your body before him. It will be after that moment then that he will embrace me for my strength that overpowered yours, said Haku as she now arched her needles ready to throw them at her, but before she did, she closed her eyes as she had an idea. She knew that in throwing senbon needles at the Hyuga it would be a waste of her time, needles, and chakra, so she decided to attack the Hyuga instead, knowing the result of the outcome. As Haku expected, the Uchiha for some reason did not expect Haku to attack him with the needles she had launched, and in doing so forced Hinata, who was right next to him, to do the honorable thing and throw herself in front of the Uchiha, taking the hits while screaming in pain as she fell to the ground. It was at that moment in time that Naruto appeared on the bridge in flash of colors, using the Flying Thunder God technique, only to witness the sly blow happen outside the ice mirrors. Hinata, said Naruto as he moved quickly through one of the ice mirrors, landing next to Hinata and a surprised Sasuke. By that point, everyone who heard Naruto's voice had stopped fighting and looked at where the mirrors were to see Naruto on his knees holding Hinata in his arms. Hinata, oh no, please don't let this mission be her last, thought Kurenai before she went back to fighting her adversaries in front of her. Slade and Zabuza, whose blades were swapped with one another mainly because Slade was toying with him, looked at the scene before them. So she finally did it. Haku is a true shinobi now, as I always thought she would be. Well done, Haku, said Zabuza, laughing as he spoke only for Slade to face him and gave the demon of the mist a kick to the gut, sending the man skidding back several feet. You have no idea what Haku has just done, do you? Said Slade, his voice now colder and darker than ever before as he gsled his swords tighter. Apparently from your voice I'm missing something, so my answer is no. Why don't you explain it to me, Slade, said Zabuza as he readied his sword for more. You fool. Haku just signed hers, yours, and every other ninja's death warrants with this place being your burial spot, said Slade in a very serious manner, as being connected to the boy meant that he could not only feel, but also literally taste Naruto's anger. What are you talking about? Said Zabuza, looking from Slade to the events taking place in the ice mirrors. Naruto continued to hold Hinata in his arms, looking right into her white eyes as she did the same and looked back with a small smile on her face. Hinata, please, please don't leave me. You are one of the few people my age who respects me for who I am and what I am. I can't. I don't want to lose you, said Naruto as tears fell down his face onto hers. Don't worry, Naruto-kun. Everything will be all right. At least, I was able to prove I was strong in fighting as someone like Haku-san. You do not have to worry. Naruto, I'll be fine, said Hinata as she used what little strength she had left in her body, and she kissed him briefly on the lips, making Naruto's tears come out even further. Hinata, I, said Naruto as he didn't know what or how to say the words he now wanted to speak before Hinata left him. You don't have to say it, Naruto-kun. I can see it in those lovely blue eyes of yours, said Hinata as she closed her eyes and her head went limp to the side. The moment that happened next was filled with silence for who knew how long, but it was clear that no one should mess with it. I don't know why you're mourning, loser. She was weak and it was her duty to rest protecting me because I was the stronger one, said Sasuke, who after saying this felt a chill run down his spine, as did everyone else on the bridge as current intent consumed all around it. Before Sasuke could even do anything, a shadow clone version of Naruto appeared next to and punched the Uchiha right in the face, sending him through an ice mirror, shattering it and shocking everyone on the bridge who witnessed it. Hinata was not the weak one here, Uchiha. It was you, said Naruto in a cold, dark voice that made everyone fear him as he still held onto Hinata while the shadow clone of himself puffed out of existence. Akamaru was now whimpering next to Kiba, having pissed himself when this whole thing started, while Shino's bugs were buzzing around in a crazy manner, telling Shino that if he valued his life he would not get in the way of Naruto's path. My bugs keep on telling me that some kind of beast-like presence inside of Naruto has just awakened. What kind of power is he generating from his body? How can any human being release so much hate from inside them? Thought Shino as he took several steps back, as did everyone else. Even Slade felt fear for the first time in a long time, as he knew that this was the calm before the raging storm. Naruto kissed Hinata gently on her pale-skinned forehead before setting her down gently and standing to his full height, cracking his fingers, and arm joints. I'm going to enjoy King you. Haku-san, said Naruto, who opened his eyes that now turned an orange-red mixed fire-like color with the pupils becoming SS before he ever so slowly took off his ninja headband, placed it in Hinata's arms and then sped of the headband underneath that, releasing the ever fearsome and now angry Jaganai. Haku watched with amazement and horror as she stared into the Jaganai as it opened up and glowed a mix of blood red and shadowy black. It was then Naruto in one motion removed the bandages from his arm, exposing his long dark dragon-like tattoo that seemed in Haku's mind to be alive. What is this power I sense from Naruto? It's a rage I have not felt even in Zabuza, even during our more bloody adventures, thought Haku as the arm gave of a demonic howl heard by all as the arm was now consumed in dark fire that not only spread out over his arm, but his entire body. His blue chakra and now a strange orange-red chakra now consumed his entire body all over swirling around with only his eyes being visible beyond the power he was releasing. Don't think for a second that the rest of you bastards are safe from my wrath. I will strike down upon thee with anger and furious vengeance, yelled Naruto in a deep demonic voice as he continued to stare into Haku's mask-covered eyes before letting all of his power that surrounded him explode, shattering all the ice mirrors around him. It spiraled around, creating a dome of chakra that consumed Naruto, Haku, Slade, Zabuza, Hinata, Kakashi, Kurenai, and their opponents. The dome itself was blue, orange, red, and black that prevented Shino, Kiba, and Sakura from seeing inside of it. What is this thing? Thought the three genin, as all they could do was hope everyone they cared for inside was of the dome was okay. Haku left the now shattered ice mirror with senbon needles in her right hand as she tried to strike Naruto down, knowing that his rage was dangerous for everyone on the bridge and not just her or Zabuza. Such strength over the loss of someone you care about. He truly is strong if he cares this deeply for her. The way I wanted him to treat me, thought Haku as threw 3 of the 5 needles in her hand aiming at his T only to have them knocked away by his unmatched power as if they were nothing to him. Haku decided to go for close combat as it was the only way to get near him, though she knew it was clearly suicidal to do so. As she got close to bring her needles within striking distance, she brought her hand with the 2 remaining needles in them down on his N only for him to grab the arm and break in the reversed position of how it was meant to be bent. After that, Naruto threw Haku with that arm around above him and then slammed her into the concrete bridge ground floor beneath them, face first. I'm going to K you last, Haku. For now I'm going to K your master along with his other loyal servants, said Naruto before he stepped over her body before walking straight for Zabuza, who by now had snapped out of his fear-induced shock and readied his sword for battle, as did the other ninjas that Kakashi and Kurenai had been fighting. I don't care what the hell you are. I'm going to K you and send you straight to depths of hell, said an angry Zabuza as he and the only 2 remaining ninja fighting Kakashi and Kurenai charged Naruto, weapons ready to strike. Zabuza, don't be a fool. He'll K you, yelled Kakashi at the end as he was forced to close his Sharingan eye, as the power Naruto was admitting was too strong for him to see with it. Naruto moved for the ninjas on each side of Zabuza as he dodged the man's sword before kneeing the man to Zabuza's right before forming an inhuman ball of chakra in his hand, swirling with power and the promise of pain to anyone it hit. Demonic Rasengan, said Naruto as he plunged the orb in his hands right into the ninjas bent over back with an open palm. The results were nearly instantaneous as everyone saw the missing ninja Naruto had hit with the orb violently exploded into multiple pieces, while the victim of the evil attack screamed in pain long after he SD as his soul could be seen being physically dissolving before their eyes. What the hell? Said the other missing ninja before Naruto turned his attention to him with hand signs just about complete for his next attack. Demonic Fire Style, Dragon Hell Fire Tornado Jutsu, said Naruto as he took in a big gasp of air into his lungs before sending out a long stream of both orange, red and black fire. It twisted itself into a horizontal tornado with the internal area of the tornado having a dragon's head as it aimed for the missing ninja, just barely missing Zabuza, and took of a chunk of the bridge at the same time. What kind of jutsu is that? Thought everyone as it spun with great force towards its intended target. The missing ninja that was hit was incinerated instantly with the mind, body, and soul of the man now turned into nothingness. Are you ready, Zabuza? If not, prepare yourself, as this is the end for you. Just as it will be for your precious Haku, said Naruto, who seemed to everyone around him not the least bit drained from using that never-before-seen jutsu. Well, this just got interesting, thought Slade as he simply put his swords away behind his back in their sheaths, watching as things took their course. Just try it, kid. If I go down, I'm taking you with me, said Zabuza as he, along with many water clone versions of himself, brought his sword down up Naruto, who raised and angled the hilt of his sword up from where it was to block all the swords at once. What? That's not possible, thought Zabuza, only to find that Naruto was doing it and that he was prepared to counter-attack. Yelled Naruto as he pushed back all the swords before drawing his own out from his sheath and spun his body with the Blade King all the water clones before hitting the real Zabuza with incredible speed and force. The end result sent one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist into the air with a big wound going diagonal from right to left before he hit the ground back first. hard. As Zabuza lay now there, Naruto walked over to Haku, who was trying to get up off the ground, but in doing so her nearly destroyed arm and the impact of the ground-enhanced blow was making her have a hard time doing it. I must stop him to protect Zabuza. I can't fail him, thought Haku as she was able to roll onto her back, seeing as she had been slammed face first into the ground. Don't get up, Haku. I'll take care of that, said Naruto, grabbing Haku by the end and lifting her up with his left arm while his right was poised to strike her with his sword in his hand. Please. I beg of you. Please spare Zabuza. Show mercy, said Haku as she felt Naruto squeeze her harder. Mercy. Hinata didn't receive any of your so-called mercy, so why should you? Yelled Naruto, his sword consumed with orange, red and black like fire, with half the head of a fox on one half of the tip and half dragon on the other. Because she is alive. Hinata is alive, said Haku with what little strength her voice box had, as she was now slightly surprised that Naruto would start to squeeze her even harder at her words. Liar, you expect me to show you mercy when you lie right to my face. For that I am sending you to the darkest regions of hell where there is no escape, said Naruto as he prepared his sword to hit her right between the eyes as his instincts called for blood. I am telling you the truth. Naruto, said Haku as a third of her hunter ninja mask's right side cracked and fell off, revealing tears coming down the one visible eye of Haku. Naruto looked into that eye for any deceit or deception it may hold and found none in it, much to his surprise. Why did you fake her death? Tell me the truth or I'll kill you right now if you don't tell me the truth, said Naruto, his sword still at the ready. I love you, as she does. I thought if I could gain your affection by showing you my strength as she did with you. Even if it meant becoming a true shinobi, and ended up killing my enemy, said Haku as she looked in his eyes for the mercy she knew was there. So that's why you wanted me to show Zabuza mercy. Seeing as you didn't kill Hinata, I can't kill you or him for what you did, as it is the way of the shinobi to deceive and lie, said Naruto, putting Haku down gently and helped her sit down as she had taken a lot of punishment. Thank you for your mercy, Naruto-san, said Haku, holding onto him with her one good arm as best she could, while Naruto could only nod before turning to Slade, who nodded, knowing what to do as the dome dissipated. By now, Sakura was fawning over Sasuke worriedly, seeing as he had taken a hard hit to his head, breaking a sizable chunk of his nose that would need surgery once the bone was reset back into place. Sasuke-kun, are you all right? Please get up, said Sakura, ignoring the groaning of Kiba as she acted like a fangirl again as he and Shino tied up the ninjas that they all beat, as well as the two that attacked Sakura. Slade ignored all of the genin in the group as he walked over to Zabuza and knelt down to face the man's face, with the bandages somehow still wrapped around the lower half of his face. I take it you don't want to just yet, said Slade, as it was more of a statement than that of a question as he stared into the man's pain-filled eyes that made him an open book to read. Zabuza could only look at the other man slightly in his one eye, as he did not have any strength to move or even speak at the moment. Slade, what are you doing? Zabuza is the enemy. Kill him now. Haku too, said Kakashi, who took out a kunai, preparing to do what Slade would not. On the contrary, Kakashi, they are not. Are they, Naruto? Said Slade, looking at the boy who created two clones to take care of Haku before going over to Hinata. Naruto put on his ninja headband after closing his Jaganai, picked her up gently, and took her to Haku, who would use her expertise in the sly art to remove the senbon needles from Hinata to remove the death-like state she was in. No. Tsunami and Inari were attacked earlier, which is why I did not get here sooner, and the samurai thug of Gato's that I interrogated told me that Gato was not going to pay them at all and kill those who are left from our little battle here. Meaning that the contract Zabuza has with the man is void on its face, thus they are no longer our enemies, said a now slightly smiling Naruto as Hinata came out of her state of death to look into the eyes of her. Naruto-kun, said Hinata, who thought she had SD and was now in heaven with the person she loved staring down at her. Hey beautiful, miss me, said Naruto, making Hinata blush at Naruto calling her that as he held her in his arms. Am I? Is this heaven? Said Hinata, who half wished it was and half wished it wasn't. You tell me, said Naruto, kissing her right smack on the lips, making her eyes become the radius of dinner plates while her face was redder than Sharingan eyes. When Naruto released the kiss, Hinata was in a daze with her eyes glazed over for several seconds before realizing she didn't just imagine that all was in heaven. Wow, was all the poor girl that was Hyuga, Hinata could say in a voice that was slightly higher than a whisper. I knew you would like that, said Naruto before looking at a depressed, slightly jealous, and now blushing Haku as Hinata, seeing the ninja who put her in this state, was slightly scared now at being next to the person who caused her pain. Instinctively she reached out to hold onto Naruto, only to realize that Naruto was currently shirtless and she was now clinging to his muscled body. She blushed while realizing that his shirt must have been burned into nothingness from being consumed in the fire that he had created from what she had been told in the past from the dark dragon in his arm. So much muscle on his body. Think clean thoughts. Think clean thoughts, thought Hinata as she did not want to be thinking in such a manner that it could possibly stain the reputation of her clan or herself for that matter. Naruto's black ninja pants looked like they had been highly charred, but still wearable, as they didn't seem to bother him as they were. Hinata-san, I wish to apologize to you for what I did. I had no idea just how much Naruto cared for you and that he would summon such strength to avenge your death, said Haku, bowing her head down in shame. Hinata looked from Naruto to Haku again to see just what Haku was talking about, as she saw exactly what the slightly older girl was talking about. Haku looked much worse than originally believed to be, as she had a massive bruise of a handprint around her a busted arm that would eventually require medical attention from a sked medic ninja or a doctor in a hospital. She wasn't kidding. I shudder to think what would happen if I really did thought Hinata as she felt some form of grief for Haku, as she would be out of active ninja duty for a while, and since she was a missing ninja it didn't help that she couldn't go to a hospital. Hinata also noticed that there were smaller multiple bruises on the girl's face due to the impact of force in hitting the ground, though the mask absorbed a small fraction of it. A trickle of blood still coming down the side of Haku's mouth on her face, as the girl was no longer wearing the hunter ninja mask. There was really no point, as it was practically destroyed. I accept your apology, Haku-san, and from here on out I would be honored if we could be friends, said Hinata as it hurt to move her body even with all the senbon needles she noticed now removed from her body. Now that is settled, how would you like a new lease on life, Zabuza-san? Said Slade so he could get back to the task at hand, as he sensed Gato would arrive at any moment. Slade, what are you doing? He's in the bingo book as a notorious missing ninja, and the book states to K him no exceptions, said Kakashi, walking towards the two only to be stopped by Kurenai, who scowled at the scarecrow-looking man. Perhaps reading those perverted books or your mask has somehow ked circulation to your ears, Kakashi, or you would have heard that Gato is on his way here to finish us off with a small army of thugs. Some of us are tired from all the fighting, and now to fight fresh opponent in our current condition would make things worse, said Kurenai, as she was more curious about what Slade was offering the man than worried. What do you propose? Slade-san, said Zabuza as it took a great deal of effort to speak to the demon lord as it hurt like hell. I'm glad you asked. You see, Uzumaki Naruto is really Kazama Naruto, the son of the fourth Hokage, and was given his mother's name on a temporary basis. I can heal your wounds, Zabuza, if you swear your allegiance to one Kazama Naruto and become its first new family member, as well as Naruto's second guardian, as I'm the first. Do you swear to do what needs to be done to preserve the Kazama name as well as the boy who carries it until the day US? Said Slade in a whispered voice so only Zabuza could hear, while he raised a now fire-covered hand with his one eye glowing orange. Zabuza looked from Slade to Naruto with his eyes briefly drifting towards Haku, who he could tell wanted him to take this offer. Yes, I swear it, said Zabuza, knowing there was no turning back once he said those words. Welcome to the family, said Slade as he revealed his other hand was also on fire as he went through the necessary hand signs. That is not a healing jutsu I've ever seen that one before, thought Kakashi and Kurenai as the others watched as Slade completed the seals, with the last one turning into a strange symbol that looked an alternate version of the fox. Demonic jutsu, Oath of Pain, said Slade as he slammed both his fire-covered hands with the last symbol in the hand sign he made down on Zabuza's chest hard, making the man scream in pain as it was so intense he couldn't hold it back, as what he had taken so far had pushed him to his limit already. Zabuza-san, said Haku worriedly as she tried to get up to help him, but a quick hand by Naruto on her left shoulder told her to wait it out. Don't worry Haku, this will be over shortly, said Naruto, watching the procedure take place along with the others while getting a funny feeling his family is not the ideal family one would expect from him. I couldn't agree more, you lousy brat, said a voice on the incomplete side of the bridge as everyone who was conscious turned to face the source of the voice that was Gato. Gato was a short-looking man from what they could tell, with a cane in one hand while his other arm was in a sling. As pre-told by Naruto, Gato brought along with him all of the mercenaries and thugs he hired to finish what was started with the Demon Brothers. So the great and mighty Gato reveals himself. Considering your reputation, if you will, I was thinking you were much more taller, said Naruto as he helped Hinata and Haku to their feet. You talk a big game, kid, but considering I got you guys outmanned 3-1 with my guys being fresh and yours looking like they went through a meat grinder, I don't think you're in a position to back up that big mouth of yours, said Gato, smiling an evil smile that only slime like him could produce. Just because you have more guys than us doesn't mean jack, you stupid bastard. Something that you will soon see when Zabuza gets up from the ground, so I, and Slade can tear your new friends apart. Shadow clone jutsu, said Naruto as 2 clones of Naruto soon appeared and took care of Hinata and Haku so the original could take the necessary steps forward. You got some humor in you, kid, even if it is stupid humor. I saw with my binoculars in one of the boats below just what you did when that dome you created disappeared, and I already know he is not getting up anytime soon. As for your friends, I think they will make excellent slaves and freaks for a traveling circus I know of in another country I pay a visit to now and then. As for your female companions, well, let's just say I know a few deep-pocketed friends of mine who are going to love using them for entertainment purposes, said Gato, laughing, as did his hired help behind him. Their laughter was stopped, however, when Slade got up from his kneeled position and took 2 steps away from Zabuza. The once wounded man raised his upper half slowly as he examined the new power running through his body, as it was now had a tanned look to it. It was if he nearly spent most of his life out in the sun instead of keeping away from it. I feel great, said Zabuza, who didn't know what to say as he got up in a single move. Slade smiled as Zabuza picked up his sword ready to wield and again. From now on you are Kazama Momoki Zabuza and second uncle to Kazama Naruto, said Slade as he took out his 2 katana blades again before turning to Gato and his minions. Nice. It has a certain ring to it. How about I break in my new body by king all these poor bastards who have the stupidity to serve Gato, said Zabuza, making Gato and his hired help to become nervous at the look of sheer bloodlust in the man's eyes. Why not? I'll even join you. It's been too long since I cared so many people and enjoyed it with such great satisfaction, said Slade, ignoring Kakashi glaring at him as he assumed it was a jab at his deceased teacher. Don't forget about me. I have a bone to pick with Gato for sending those 2 jackasses to Kainari and Tsunami while everyone else came here. I want in on this little festival, said Naruto, reapplying his grip on the handle of his sword. You may not be my boy Naruto, but I love you like a son, said Slade as he, along with both Zabuza and Naruto, charged the group in front of them while Gato retreated behind his goons to get to the boats to escape. Nuts to this, I'm getting out of here, said Gato as he ran as far as his legs and cane could take him as Naruto, Slade, and Zabuza tore through Gato's thugs like a hot knife through butter. Where do you think you're going, Gato? Said Zabuza as he SD to people in half before leaping in front of Gato just as he was about to make it to the boats below. Wait. Said Zabuza, please hear me out, said Gato as he took a step back, ignoring the sounds of the S behind him. You have nothing I want, said Zabuza as he brought his massive sword down upon the scared businessman who envisioned himself facing a demon before he SD. Hinata closed her eyes, as she could not take any more in seeing Gato's thugs even if they were much deserved deaths. It was Judgment Day on this bridge for all of them, and at that moment, these 3 were the angels of death. Hinata did, however, praise Naruto for embracing the ninja way of life so quickly and for fighting to get back at them for all the right reasons. To get back as the man who had ordered the daughter and grandson of Tazuna Ked to silence any future rebellion to his sick rule over this country. I'm proud of you, Naruto-kun, thought Hinata as she now held onto the shadow clone of Naruto a little bit more for support, suppressing a blush she felt in regards to the contact to them. Haku watched in awe as Naruto espered one person through the face, spun his body to hit another man in the face with his boot, and then with that same boot crunched the man's face in when he hit the ground. She was used to seeing Zabuza K in his own manner that fit the name, Demon of the Bloody Mist, and now she was seeing it only amplified tenfold. Naruto-kun, you truly are strong to fight for those you care for as I do Zabuza. I will have to make sure he understands that meaning behind this strength so he can become stronger for it. As I will, thought Haku as she silently vowed to do everything in her power to help Naruto become stronger than he was now. Kiba and Shino had become green in the face along with Akamaru, causing the three to lose all contents in their stomach as they puked over the bridge rail. Sakura, who was still holding an unconscious Sasuke on the ground, kept her eyes closed as she held her crush close to her, not caring for anyone but the Uchiha. Kurenai and Kakashi could not help but watch as Zabuza ked Gato in one swing while Slade and Naruto ked all the others with the grace and skill of master swordsmen. I never knew Slade was a master of two-handed sword fighting. He is truly an interesting person to say the least, thought a very shocked Kurenai, as she could not help but admire the demon lord for his display in the art of death that he created. Naruto has become too powerful for a boy his age, and all because of Slade, and what's worse, he's brought another demon by title into his family. I must deal with this through the Hokage. No, the Hokage is too soft on the boy and cares for him too much. I should report this to the council and have them deal with this decisively, thought Kakashi as Naruto took a black fire-covered fist and shoved it into a man's chest before causing it to incinerate into ashes. Just as the last of Gato's men were ked, Inari and the other villagers showed up ready to help, only to find they were several minutes too late. In a way that was good though, as they believed the carnage that the three warriors produced would make them all nauseous and mentally scarred for life. Oh, we missed all the fighting, said Inari, who had a helmet on and crossbow in his hand ready to fire. You may have missed the fighting, Inari, but you won't miss the victory celebration after today, seeing as Gato is gone and your grandfather is safe, said a blood-covered Naruto, smiling as he pointed to a pale Tazuna who couldn't believe what he had seen the entire time. And celebrate they did after getting the three bloody warriors cleaned off and the others patched up by the town doctor and Slade, who knew a thing or two about fixing wounds, like nearly destroyed arms. Naruto apologized to Tazuna for taking a solid chunk off his bridge and told him he could fix it with the help of his shadow clones while helping in the building of the bridge. Of course, Tazuna accepted the idea with open arms, as he had several good workers in the doctor's office being treated for wounds by Zabuza and Haku, and he needed all the help he could get. The two former missing ninjas also apologized for what they did, as they wanted it to be known they harbored no ill will towards the old man or the village. However, for a while Inari and Tsunami were a little nervous at first at being near the two until everything was explained to them about the situation. What was even more interesting was that Tsunami actually blushed around restored and enhanced former missing Mist Ninja, who seemed to like her somewhat as well. As the bridge was being repaired and finished, everyone trained at their own pace, but for some it was more than others, as Sasuke was furious at what Naruto did to him. That and Naruto had proven without any doubt that he was so much stronger than he was. I will have the power to crush you, Naruto, and then when I do I will be ready for you, my older brother, thought Sasuke as went through the hand size for the grand fireball jutsu. Sasuke wasn't the only one training hard, as Slade decided to have a little heart-to-heart talk with Shino with Naruto in regards to what had happened on the bridge. I assume you know why I brought us three here to this secluded spot away from prying eyes and ears, said Slade with his arms crossed as Shino sat on a fallen tree while Naruto sat next to him less than a foot away. From a logical standpoint, it is in regards to what happened on the bridge when Naruto went berserk, I believe would be the polite term, said Shino, pushing his glasses up slightly to cover his eyes better. That, and after talking it over with Naruto, I think you could use some improved taijutsu training that I think would fit you nicely, said Slade, making Shino's eyebrows rise up in surprise at what was said. I fail to see how any type of taijutsu style of fighting could remotely fit me. There is no such form or style out there that exists for a bug user like me, said Shino, whose voice sounded depressing at sound of his own words. It was unnatural for the boy to be this way, as he had always been considered the stoic figure of Team 8, just as Hinata was the shy one of the group, and Kiba was the, well, I guess there was a category for the smelliest when he thought about it. Don't be too sure about that, my friend, as I know a fighting style perfect that reflects your love for bugs, said Slade as he smiled, seeing the boy's shock and interest in the news. What fighting style is that? said Shino as he saw this as a chance to expand his family's legacy as he always dreamed he would. It is called the mantis style, where you would take the fighting form of a bug that is called the praying mantis. However, before I can teach you it, I think we should discuss what happened on the bridge and what your bugs were no doubt telling you, said Slade before looking at Naruto and then back to Shino. I'm all ears, Slade-sensei, said Shino, knowing that this was highly important and at the same time beneficial to him in the end. Good. Now tell me, what do you know of the tale of Kyuubi and the fight between it and the fourth Hokage? Said Slade, making Shino's eyebrows rise up once more. Back in Kohono Hyuga compound, Hiashi walked without a word or nod to anyone as he headed for his room after he had just overhearing secret information being discussed by several clan elders. They didn't know he was listening in on them or that he had activated his Byakugan to do so when he had sensed their chakra signatures in a single place. It cannot be possible. Why does fate of all things conspire against me and those that my loved one cares for? Thought Hiashi as he neared his room, feeling weaker with each step. He had been doing this frequently in secret when they were like this ever since he had learned the truth about what they did to Naruto with the seal on his back. Now, however, he had been shaken to his very core of all things he believed in people as he once more had learned another shocking truth he never thought he would or wish hear during his lifetime. He got to his room and shut the door, locking it before heading to the shrine of his loving wife whose death he mourned day and night for over half a decade. Hiashi slowly got on his knees in front of the shrine to his wife, lit the incense stick, placed it in shrine, and then bowed his head before speaking. Hitome, I have loved you since the moment I first met you all those years ago. I have done all that is in my power to make sure everything about you is remembered and honored so Hinata will be like you. However, I have just recently learned of the hidden secret that you hid from me. A secret that I could only describe as your one and only sin. I know, Hitome, that it was you who put the seal on the N of Uzumaki Naruto long ago before you passed away. I know you are a good woman, Hitome, and I know you wouldn't have done it unless you had a good reason to. I cannot hate you for what you did, nor will I try to, as it would be wrong to do so. I will try, however, to see to it that those who put you up to this treachery be brought into the light and that they be punished for their sins in hurting the boy and for what they no doubt had you do against your will. I, Hyuga Hiashi, your forever loving husband, swear this to you, said Hiashi, bowing his head once more before blowing out the sticks and leaving the room to handle more clan business. Unknown to Hiashi, however, one Hyuga Neji had used his Byakugan to see his uncle and what he was saying. So my aunt Hitome put some sort of seal on Uzumaki Ha. When I tell Hinata during the Chunin exams should we face off, it will break her up inside, giving me the chance to break her body and spirit just as fate intended, thought Neji, who decided to get back to his training in the more advanced forms of the gentle fist made to make one suffer or less painfully. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.